Hey, good morning, ladies. It is day 2 of our 3-day 2025 Life Making Method Biz Edition group. It's a mouthful. I'm thrilled you're back here again. And like I said yesterday, this stuff, it's your time, which is your most valuable asset that you have, your most valuable resource. And so know that everything that I'm bringing to you is like truly the essentials, truly everything you could possibly need concise down into a 3-day experience. So yesterday we did a lot of assessing, like where exactly are you at this exact moment? The Cosmo Quiz Day of filling out your trackers. Kudos to Siobhan for sharing her audit, which was huge, huge, huge. And just like really seeing where you're at and bringing in the two components. So bringing in the whole freaking life wheel that's going to support your business journey, because we're not just like business robots here. That was very like, I don't know, 2019 to 2022. It was like very popular to be a woman business robot. So for our purposes, I would like you to have a holistic life experience to squeeze the juice out of it. A beautiful friend of mine lives in Italy, and she talks about the difference between like something that she just encountered with the Italians is that they take their bread at the end of the meal and they soak up all the sauce. So I want you to be able to soak up all the sauce in life with messy fingers. Like this is not the time to like pinky up. This is like how can we get as much out of life as possible. So for today's purposes, now that you have that information, however you feel about it, good, bad, neutral, however you feel about it, we're going to take that information and actually do something conducive with it for your future for 2025. And remember, we talked about holding two timelines yesterday, the big grand vision, the thing that you look back on 10 years from now that you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe my wildest dreams came true. And then also like the more like what can we get done in the next 6 to 12 months stuff. So holding the vision for both of those. And today, what I love about today is that I know that we have kind of two different camps in here. We have the wooist of the woo, which I love, all the energetics. And then we have other people in here that are like, I don't buy into any of that stuff. Give me a strategy, give me a business plan. And so today's exercise is going to marry both of those worlds. And what I'll do is go over what it is and then give you a little more context as to why this works. So, what we're doing today is you will, as soon as I get off, I'm going to post our materials. When you open up today's folder, you will first see the vision meditation. And I didn't post it yet because I wanted to give you a little bit of context on how to do it. So what I really like about this one and what I hear from people that either, I mean, we might have some pro meditators in here, which is awesome, but a lot of times people with meditation are like, I don't get a lot out of it because my mind's wandering, I'm making the grocery list, I'm not like zenned out enough. And then, there's all different types of meditation. And I should probably say this is more of a mindfulness exercise. So what that means is we are going to tie in your physiology. So I truly believe in the triad, mind, body, spirit, that if you use all three of those, like that's really where you're going to create epic life stuff. So in terms of getting the most out of our meditation, I want to bring your physiology into it. And I know we have some like physical trainers in here and health coaches, so you'll understand this as well. There's nothing more powerful to get you out of the monkey mind than to get you into your body and your breath specifically. So the way that it's set up when you press play is I'm going to kick you off with a breath work exercise. It's very quick, but it dials you in right away. Then the next part of the meditation will be guided. So I'll be saying some stuff over some tracks, some binaural beats. And then you'll also want something to write with close by to you. I highly, highly recommend writing instead of like the notes app on your phone or your computer screen, because when you write, it actually sends an association to the younger parts of our brain, the like 0 to 7 parts of our brain. So you're going to get a little bit more into your subconscious without even having to do any extra work. Not that typing is bad, it just activates a different part of our thinking. So once you listen to that, the first part guided, and then you'll notice my voice will trail off and it will just be binaural beats, like meditation music, if you will. And at that point in time, you're just going to start writing all the prompts that I say in the meditation. If you're someone who likes complete silence, at that point in time, you can just click it off and do it in silence, or you can just have the background music playing, and that's great too. So to give you a lay of the land on the breath work, so I want to show this to you physically. me scoot back here. This is I don't think it's called fire. I guess it's called fire breathing. We're gonna go in and out of your nose, and then you're gonna add the arm movement. So what this looks like is you're gonna reach your arms up high, and then as you exhale, like it's gonna be forceful. So it's like it's quick. You go up and down. And while you do that, you inhale and exhale out of your nose as quickly as possible. And I always laugh when I like do this in January because most all of us, especially if you're a mom, have like some sort of snot going on in your sinuses. It's fine if snot comes out, it's fine. So what this looks like in real time, and I'll just do a demonstration so you know what it looks like when you go to press play, is you reach up and down. Okay, so what the exercise will be is 3 sets of 30. So I'll cue you to do this 30 times. You'll take a pause, place your hands in your lap, and you'll do that 2 more times through. The reason that this works, A, it's lovely. It actually pumps the lymphatic through your body. So it's like a nice little detoxing, stagnant energy situation. And B, it gets you kind of that like all natural high, if you will. It gets your blood pumping. It gets the oxygenated like action going on so that it gets you out of the monkey mind and into your more primal, let me be here and now present moment. After you do that, you'll write out this big, beautiful vision. So that vision, I want to be your big, audacious life. Like, go big. Your big, 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 audacious life. Then if you come to our folder, there's 2 more pieces of paper in there. 2 is you're gonna write out your top 10 goals. So this pulls in some of our stuff from yesterday where we had the different categories. So I like, and I know we're gonna switch to business in a second here, but for right now, I want you to go full picture big, like all life. So choose a couple of wellness goals, choose a couple of personal finance goals that might be different than your business. Choose a couple of spiritual goals or like mindfulness or anything like that that feels relevant for you this year. And you'll just do those top 10. And then finally, we'll get to in a second what that 3rd worksheet is. So let me speak a little bit to the big vision before we get more granular into strategy. All right, this is the fun stuff. This is why this works, you guys. And I know this time of year, it's really popular to do vision boards. Everyone's having like a girls' night with the vision board and yada, yada. So what I would say is if you are a visual learner, there's like, great. The reason I like the written exercise that I just described to you is that the most important piece of this exercise is going to be repetition. So I'm going to encourage you to, now that you've written out this big, beautiful vision, that you are going to read it every single morning. Ideally, right when your feet hit the floor, because that's when you're still in that theta brain state where you're like not totally there yet. You're still a little bit in that hypnosis state before any kind of technology. And what's going to happen is it like massages your subconscious day after day after day so that all the strategy stuff can work itself out as you go along throughout your life. And what I find with vision boards is so often we like make them and they're really beautiful and they evoke all the like stuff it needs to evoke in us. And then it like, I don't know, at some point during the year it either gets like lost or damaged or in the back of your closet. And it doesn't create that same subconscious priming that we need for repetition. So I would say if you're going to go the Pinterest board route, then make sure it's like, your screensaver or it's like in your bathroom where you put your makeup on every morning or something like that. I can share with you how this has played out in my life, both on a very like deep level and then also some more fun, frivolous stuff. I have done a version of this exercise, like including vision boards and writing it out and yada yada, is probably since, well, I should know, I don't know, 8 or 9 years at this point. But I do remember going to Barnes & Noble and spending a ton of money on magazines, so don't do that, just use Pinterest. Back in 2015 or 16, I had just moved to San Diego, and I had all these different categories like wellness and money, and I was in the wellness industry at that time. I was a fitness instructor, so I had like fitnessy stuff. And at the time, I don't know if I told this part of my story yesterday, but I was married to somebody who was really struggling with addiction and mental health. And we had moved to San Diego for his job, as in I did not have one presently. I had made that big windfall of money, but it was for his job that we were coming here. And I don't know, month 1, month 2, that job no longer existed. He was so sick that he was not going to work. He was drinking until 6 in the morning, and our finances were plummeting. So with that said, in my little money category on my vision board, I remember finding this clip out of a magazine, and it said, now is the time that's going to change the next 10 years of your life. And very trivially, I thought that was just going to be our money. I was like, oh, gotta get our money back, gotta make some money. And what I didn't realize was that, because I did do a vision board and I kept it in our little workout area of our apartment, so I would see it as I was working out each day in our home gym, and I remember like just glancing at it. Now I wasn't like, treating it like an altar every day. It would just get glanced at here and there. And the interesting thing is that exact year, not only was it the year that changed the next 10 years of my life financially, but that was the year that I had the courage to step away from that unhealthy marriage, that I completely changed careers, that I finally got a grip for the first time in 31 years. I mean, if we're not really counting childhood, but I was 31 at the time, on eating healthily. Like I finally got a grip on macros and nourishing myself, and not just like eating salads and pretzels and calling it healthy. And every single genre changed. I wanted to be a traveler. And if you notice, we had no money, but the company that I joined had travel perks. So all of these things were coming into my life that were really, really massive, and it's not something I would have known. Now, let's fast forward a couple other things that are a little bit more frivolous and funny. I like to say to be specific, and some of you guys have heard this story before, so go with it. The more frivolous thing is, in 2019, I did the written version, exactly what I'm asking you to do today. And at this point, I'm like rebuilding. I'm renting a room out of this amazing lesbian couple's home. I still have no money. I'm still in that like beginner stage of the job. I'm like healing my broken heart. I have a plastic fold-up desk to my name, and that's it. And in my lifestyle category, once again, travel is a love language of mine. So I was like, I want to be a world traveler. And I thought, well, if I'm going to be a world traveler, I'm just going to write down that in my lifestyle category, learn foreign languages. Because I think I thought that, like I'm going to need to know how to order food, like delicious pasta in Italy and a beautiful glass of red wine in France. And I didn't write that though. I just said learn foreign languages. So the funny thing is, I wrote that down in January of 2019. March of 2019, I just so happened to then meet my now beloved, my life partner, my baby daddy, Jake. And Jake is from, for those of you who don't know, Jake is from Denmark. Not like twice removed, not like his great aunt, like immigrated from Denmark 12 years ago. His entire family's there. That's where we just came back from. And I will tell you guys, Danish is a hard language to learn. It is a very challenging language that is very present in our life. So fast forward to 2025. Wow. Foreign languages are so rampant in my life. We have Jake, who primarily speaks Danish to the kids. We have our nanny that is Spanish speaking only to the kids. We have one of my besties is an ASL interpreter, as well as like I have friends who have a deaf son. Like there's just so many other languages in our life besides English, all because I just simply wrote down learn foreign languages. So be really specific, because you never know what's going to come true. That's always my caveat. And have fun with this. Like this is the big dreaming and scheming part of your life that, what's wild? I heard a stat recently that only 2% of the population takes time to do this. What? And I can tell you the years that I'm more intentional about it than not, where I kind of like half-ass it for all intents and purposes, it shows. Like nothing bad happens, but also nothing really extraordinary happens at the same time too. So it is something to be taken seriously. Okay. Let's get a little bit more into the business side of this for today and the strategy side. So we've got this like beautiful vision, and then those last two worksheets. So we talked about only doing top 10 goals. Well, unfortunately, spoiler alert, you really, for the most part, can't make your top 10 goals happen this year unless they're smaller things. I like to look at my top 10 list, and really choose 2 to 3 that I'm going to execute. And for the purposes of this group, what I would love for you to do is actually choose your one business goal. So when you get to that worksheet number 3, it'll say like list your top 3 goals. You're going to pick only one business goal. And you're like, but wait, what? Aren't I supposed to like grow my revenue, grow my email list, raise my price? Like you're supposed to, like all the things. And what I can offer is there is so much power in one simple offer. So I know we have a lot of other coaches in here, which is really awesome because this is like my love language, is teaching other life coaches, wellness coaches, consultants, physical trainers, all of that, how to sell, and how to sell in a way that it will, you'll grow your income. So all of that to say, if each offer that you have, and what I mean by this is I'm going to use nutrition coaching because I know we have Lori in the group as an example. So let's say you offer a 6-month-long coaching container, one-to-one coaching, where you're going to teach them their macros, how to eat like whole foods, you're going to support them week after week, whatever that offer is fleshed out to be. And that's a certain price. That in itself is one business. If you're like, well, wait, I'm supposed to have a low ticket offer, I'm supposed to have a middle ticket offer where, okay, maybe if they don't want my high ticket one-to-one coaching, then I'm going to offer this like subscription based thing where if they pay $30 a month, they're going to get recipes and resources and mindset tips. And that's going to be my other offer. That is a whole other business. What? I know. A girlfriend of mine recently I was listening to her podcast and she was like, it's kind of like having one child a year versus having triplets. Now, as someone who's a twin mama, that didn't totally resonate with me, but I get where she's going with it. So I would love for you to choose one big banner business goal. And if you're like, well, wait, Lauren, you didn't update your worksheets, it still says 3. That is correct. The other 2 goals that are going to go below your big business goal are going to be goals that support that. So for example, if I am choosing a business goal, like maybe this is the year you do the podcast. Maybe this is the year, like last year I can share with you. So my business as a life and business coach, when I first started, I did just one-to-one coaching. That was my one simple offer, 6 months at a time, one-to-one coaching. And then last year it was, how do I create the same amount of value at that same price point that I was charging for one-to-one in a group experience? So last year was all about, not that I didn't take one-on-one clients, I still did. It was still a part of my income and revenue, but all of my focus went to bringing in people into our business container and how to grow that group experience. So that's what that was for this last year. This year, spoiler alert, I'm doing this in real time with you, so time will tell. I will let you know in the next couple of days what comes out of it. But with that said, if that was going to be my focus, what were the other 2 things that I could do to support that? So maybe I choose a health goal. If I need to be, and I know a lot of you are starting your businesses right now, starting a business, and I don't mean this in a negative way, I mean this in a like this is your calling kind of way, requires a enormous amount of energy. And I'm not poo-pooing on people who have like proper 9-to-5 jobs, but there's a lot of other pieces that go into running your own business. And so I always like to say it requires a lot of physical and mental energy. So maybe if you have a business goal, you probably would want a health goal. Like, I'm going to prioritize my sleep, or I am going to make sure that I'm, doing the 80-20 rule with my workouts and my nutrition. Or like last year, one of my supporting ones is I had a lot of gut issues last year. Don't even get me started on the food in the US. I had a lot of gut issues. And so one of my supporting goals was like, I'm going to invest all the time and resources I can to get to the bottom of this. And that was one of my health goals. Another goal could be your relationships. Like maybe if you have a big business goal, you've got to be really smart about how you are showing up. Those of you who have kids, those of you who are in partnership with another person, I got to tell you, I am grateful for Jake and the kids and our whole beautiful life and the whole thing. It's a lot easier to run a business when you're single because you don't have to take care of anybody else. So if you are in partnership, if you are a mama, maybe one of your goals is something around like, how can I have like, keep having a check-in with my partner and communicating what I'm doing. So the weeks that I do need extra coverage or support with the kiddos, or that I'm a little bit more MIA, or how do I not just go off into the deep end and like not avoid, like to not pay attention to my family either, right? Because I'm in like work mode. So having some sort of goal around that could be really fruitful. The ones that I like to discourage are the ones where it's like, if for your personal finances, if your personal finance goal this year is something around paying off debt, then you're probably also not going to choose a lifestyle goal that requires a good amount of money, like taking up the sport of golf, which is a very expensive sport. You probably don't want to do that the same year that you are paying off your debt. You do that a different year. You got to choose one or the other. So the going back to the simplicity of that one offer, it feels scary because I know there's a lot of marketing out there that says you've got to do the 3-tiered pricing. I can tell you it makes your life so much more simple. You will make more money. I am living proof of this. I had one offer that I made 6 figures with, and it required 25% of the time that I was spending in my direct sales business years prior. So we will get clear on how to do that. I have like all the tips of the trade and everything that goes along with that. So know that you want to pick the thing, and there's no right or wrong. This isn't like, oh, well, shoot, should I try to go viral on social, or should I try to like meet people in real life? Should I try to do the podcast, or should I X, Y, and Z? There's no right or wrong. You just have to pick one, and then you have to make it right. So whatever the thing is, you pick it, and then we stick with it for the next 6 to 12 months minimum. Because your brain, and this is some of the coaching work that I do with my clients, your brain is going to do all kinds of fancy like flip-floppy things to be like, oh shoot, the name of my offer isn't like sexy enough, I got to change it. Well, that just confuses your audience. Or like that, I got 2 no's of people that were going to work with me, so I must not be pricing it right. No, it's just to figure out a better way to communicate it and talk to the people that are actually interested in buying your offer. So keep that in mind as you're going through this. And for all of my multi-passionate people, because I just got like that spidey sense of all my multi-passionate that were like, wait a minute, I have this idea, I have that idea, I have this idea. There is space for that. I'm not telling you to ditch them. I'm saying maybe that is your supporting goal. We've got the big income goal on how you can grow your business, and then all the other passion projects, like I want them to have a home. I'm not here to like snip off all your little creative branches. We're just going to prioritize accordingly. Okay. Every single one of my clients, not everyone, let's see. At this point in my client roster, I would say 70% of people are like, Lauren, I want to add another offer. I want to add another thing, because like it is that creative entrepreneurial spirit. And so it's just a matter of how we manage that. Okay. So that's the vision, the energetics, the strategy of how we're choosing our goals and our one simple offer and how we can communicate it. And then the last piece of this that kind of sets us up really beautifully for tomorrow, because we talked about tomorrow's going to be all about self-sabotage, is and like how to create lasting change, and I'll have this just be like a February thing, is at the bottom of worksheet 2, you're going to see questions that you need to be asking each specific goal, meaning the top 3. You don't have to do it for all 10 if that's not relevant. So of those top 3, you are going to answer 5 questions I think I wrote down. The first one is, who do I need to become in order to see this goal through? Who do I need to become is question number 1. Question number 2, what new habits, disciplines, behaviors do I need to start doing if I'm going to achieve this thing? Number 3 is, what existing healthy habits, disciplines, or behaviors do I just need to like expand on a little bit more, like kind of like continue doing, maybe it's working, make it a little bigger. And then what poor habits or behaviors do I need to stop doing altogether if I want to see this thing come to fruition? And then once you have that, it's going to go into how we can like piece these into little. I would love for you to choose. Let's do it this way. I would love for you to choose 3 micro actions that you can do each day as it relates to the goal. So this isn't, I'll give you an example. So if one of your goals is to grow your, to pay down debt, we'll say pay down debt, then one action needs to be, and I'm not the person that's like, you've got to give up the Starbucks habit, but I would say if there is something in your budget that's skimming the fat, if you will, that's not as important, like if you love your Starbucks, keep it and get rid of something else. So being mindful. Maybe another micro habit is that once a week you have a money date. Another micro habit could be you keep a gratitude list of every single time a new penny enters your life. I don't care if you got a royalty payment for like $1.17, we express gratitude and like say to God, say to the universe, thank you, more please, thank you, more please. If one of your goals is to lose weight, then a micro goal activity would be like you're drinking enough water, you're getting enough protein each day, and you're committed to working out 3 to 5 times a week, whatever that looks like for you. So those are the micro things that you want to write down. The last thing I'll say about this whole like goals and intentions is there is a difference between an intention and a goal. And I would say the intentions are going to be a little bit more in your vision, the first part, the energetics, the vision. And then the goals are going to be more of your finite strategy stuff. So an example of this would be, I'll give you a business one and then I'll give you a life one. So one of my big intentions that I started this business with last year, this year, it works, so I'm going to keep it going, and it still feels true, is an intention is I have a wait list of soul-aligned clients. Like people that really want to be in my world, and I know that I can serve them to the highest level, and like they will walk away better than I found them. So if my intention is, like that sounds really good, but what does that actually mean in my business? So that's the intention. And then how I would reverse engineer that is, okay, well, if I want a network of soul-aligned clients, then that means that maybe I should go to some local events that with people I connect with, like maybe other like wellness entrepreneurs, other people, like there's here in San Diego, there's a lot of people in the spiritual, the wellness space, the just like women in business space, women supporting women. Maybe I'm going to go to some of their local events so I can meet these people. Maybe it means that I'm going to commit to sending out a newsletter email X amount of times a month. Maybe it means that I'm going to commit to showing up on, like having an actual social media plan instead of just like throwing spaghetti at the wall, because I want to really speak to that woman. So that's like the actual reverse engineering. Same thing with those of you who are mamas on here. One that also carries over for me each year is I want to be a joyful, present mama. So how do I do that? Like, what's the finite thing to do that? Well, I'm a mama of toddlers, which I also feel like requires a lot of energy. Not that all stages of parenthood don't. But what that looks like is, in order for me to be present and joyful, I've got to get sleep. And we are not sleeping in our house right now. So that means that I don't have the luxury of like watching one more episode of Netflix that goes between like 10 p.m. to 11. It means I need to be going to sleep at like 9 to 10, not 10 to 11. Like just that little piece makes all the difference in the world for me the next day. It means I need to be hydrated. Like if you're dehydrated, you are cranky. You are so cranky. So it means I've got to drink some water. And then it also means I need to carve out a specific amount of time, whether it's 10 minutes or a half day activity, where I'm present with my kids, where we're like doing something together, whether I'm just like playing side by side with them, or I take them to the zoo, or whatever that looks like. So that's how you can reverse engineer an actual intention. So it doesn't just need to be like, I'm going to earn 10K this month, which we can do that too. I mean, that's like a big part of what we do in my business incubators, is the actual finite money stuff. But keep that in mind as you are fleshing this all out. Okay, I think that is everything for today. Tomorrow we're going to talk about how to stop self-sabotage. And as always, so your homework for today. Oh my gosh, we didn't do the drawing. If you're still on, we got to do the drawing. So people who participated yesterday, I put it into the wheel of names here on our little handy dandy app. I'm going to be giving out some Starbucks gift cards that I mentioned yesterday. How do I do this? Oh, tap to spin. And then tomorrow, you're going to comment, once I put day two's post up, you're going to comment with what your big three are. So comment with what your big three are. We will do a similar drawing tomorrow. Okay. Our first winner is Lori Street Meet Store on social, on IG, who is a multi-passionate. I will be sending you a Starbucks gift card. So if I call your name, make sure that I have your email because that's how it will be coming through. Let's do another one just because it's fun. Let's do one more. And then we'll do some more again tomorrow. And it's like, it goes very slow at the end. Okay, Shayna. Shayna is number 2. So same thing. Shayna has if you were a parent, she has a parenting coaching practice for strong-willed kids. I've been really enjoying tuning into her content as well recently. So connect with other people in here and see if there's anything that makes sense for you to collab with or partner up with. And I will see you mañana.